Welcome everybody. This is about my 7th presentation, so I really am so excited because back to talking about travel. Carrie was actually asking me beforehand, if I missed being out on the road and in front of people, and I said more than anything, it's one of my favorite things to do. I love talking about travel, and so I'm the director of the Central U.S. I've been here almost 10 years. So I'm over everything from, Texas all the way up to Michigan and Tennessee over to Colorado. But today we're talking about an area that is without a doubt one of my wife's favorites. She loves the Christmas markets. I talked a little bit about this yesterday, and the holiday season. In fact, our Christmas tree just got taken down recently because she loves having it up. And so New York at Christmas time, holiday, that is something that it really is a fantastic area. I was lucky enough to live in this region for a couple of years, and so I had the opportunity to experience this. It really is an unbelievable destination and so much fun. I prefer New York during the holiday season than any other time. Like I said, I used to be over this area. I've been there many, many times, but for me, there is no better than the holiday season. So we're going to have a spotlight on New York City holiday, December 13th through the 17th. We have 5 days, 5 meals, 3 breakfasts, and 2 dinners that are included. And right out of the gates, one of the best things about this, 1 hotel stay. And we stay right in the heart. I always talk about New York that if you're staying outside of the city, you are going to have a completely different experience than anybody else, because you're having to, try to fight the traffic, get in town, all of that fun stuff. We don't have to worry about that because we're going to be staying right there in the heart. In fact, we use the Sheraton New York Times Square. So during your leisure time, you have the ability to walk around, do some shopping, try out all the different restaurants, whatever it is that you're interested in seeing while we're there. So we'll dive into the Big Apple and dressed in its holiday best, if you will. So you'll fly in, you'll kind of get everything ready. We are going to have a fantastic Broadway show, as well as the High Kickin' Rockettes, which I'll talk a little bit about. As I mentioned, you have 1 hotel stay. So you're going to fly in Sheraton Towers, right in Times Square in the heart. I've stayed at the Sheraton Towers. It is fantastic, great location. You'll have plenty of time. And we do have 1 option on this tour as well. So as you arrive in what is known as America's most exciting metropolis, we'll have the opportunity to really visit it during the holiday season. And this is the city that never sleeps. So I can tell you it's home to over 8.6 million people. But the thing that I love about New York is it really consists of about 5 different neighborhoods that bring it all together. So you have an unbelievable melting pot. You got Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, which is really, the hub of where we're going to be at, the Bronx, as well as Staten Island. And so, if there's things that you want to see, you'll have the ability to do that. We're going to work in some leisure time. So day 1, we'll get you in. You'll have some free time depending on what time your flight arrives. We'll get you checked into the hotel. And then day 2, we get started right out of the gates. We're going to prepare for an exhilarating day with breakfast at a local eatery before embracing kind of the city's energy, if you will. And we'll have a locally guided tour of the Big Apple. One of my favorite things about New York is I read an article probably about 5 years ago that said, you could go out to dinner from the time you were 10 years old until you were 82, I believe, and never eat at the same restaurant if you didn't want to. So this is a culinary dream if you're interested in trying all the foods. My favorite is 2 things. The hot dogs that are out on the street and popping into a pizza place and get me a big old slice of New York style pizza. So we'll get started with a city tour. We'll have the gleaming Empire State Building. We'll have the opportunity to spend that. No, we don't actually go up in it. We just don't have time, but we will have the opportunity to see it during free time. If you'd like to go back, the tour manager will kind of help you navigate that. We'll walk the streets of Greenwich Village, which is one of the most iconic Manhattan neighborhoods. It's really creative nexus for writers, artists, musicians. This is kind of where they all get their inspiration when they're in the area, and they absolutely love it. We'll have the opportunity to spend some time there. And of course, no trip to New York is complete without visiting the business tycoons and investment bankers right on Wall Street. And this is the nation's financial hub. We know what all happens here and all the things that go on. I believe the saying is, buy low, sell high. So we'll have the opportunity to do that. And we will visit Lower Manhattan, St. Paul's Chapel. And this is a very interesting chapel in the fact that this is where George Washington once actually worshiped himself. And for me, I think one of the things that is even more spectacular is that this is also the site where recovery workers were cared for during their time at the World Trade Center. When that was happening, this is an area kind of turned into almost a mini triage where they had the ability to kind of take care of some of the workers. So a lot of history here, and we'll have the ability to spend some time and visit that. And then we're going to visit and reflect at the 9/11 Memorial and the 9/11 Museum. You know, a poignant tribute to the lives lost. The twin memorial pools are surrounded by bronze structures that are actually engraved with the names of the people that died here this day. So, you know, it is something that we never want to forget. You know, I graduated from Edmond. We had the bombing in Oklahoma City, and it's something that, you know, is still very near and dear to our heart. And when people go to Oklahoma City, I tell them they have to go to the memorial. You know, obviously 9/11 very much in that same kind of stance. And so we're definitely going to have the opportunity to spend some time. And we don't just stop by. You know, one of the questions that I get is how much time do we spend here? And we spend a very good amount of time here. So it's not just a drive-by. You're going to have the opportunity to walk around and spend a few hours here and really kind of take it in. You'll have a little bit of leisure time in the afternoon. And then in the morning, day 3 really begins with some fun-filled breakfast at the famous Ellen's Stardust Diner. And so this is a 50s themed restaurant, and it's featuring a singing waitstaff. So since the day that the restaurant opened, which was back in 1987, the diner has really featured singers who have gone on to practically every Broadway and off-Broadway show in New York. So not only do they get to make a little money when they're trying to make their way to Broadway, they get to entertain the crowd and have a lot of fun. Everybody loves this breakfast. So we're going to get started off there, and then we're going to board a ferry as we cruise the New York Harbor. So we're going to have the opportunity to see Manhattan and New York Harbor from a completely different perspective. Of course, we'll dock and get right up close to Lady Liberty. Has been welcoming immigrants and visitors to New York since 1886. Given to us, of course, by France. Just an unbelievable, and to me, one of the most iconic, statues that we have here in the United States. Really created a token of friendship between the U.S. and France, and it's become a global symbol of freedom, not just for us, but global. And the copper monument was designed by Frederick August Bartholdi and is built by Gustave Eiffel. Yes, Eiffel, exactly like the Eiffel Tower. And then we're going to continue on to Ellis Island. And this is, for me, one of the things I love. I have a minor in history. And, right now in today's world, everybody wants to know their heritage, where they come from. How did people come here? Where do they, come from? What is your history? I have recently found out that I am 25%, Viking, Scandinavian. So when I lose my temper, I just blame it on that. But here we get to step back in time on a self-guided tour of the museum. Ellis Island opened for immigrants in 1892 and then was converted actually into a museum in 1990. And it has interactive displays, personal stories of the immigration boom from 1892 to 1924. It's fascinating. More than 12 million people passed through this station on their journey to America. The site was closed for immigration in 1954, but the museum contains a very comprehensive history of American immigration, including events even before and after Ellis Island. And so if your family came through here, you have the opportunity, you can find their signatures, their names. You have the ability to kind of see how it was for people migrating to such a wonderful country. And then the remainder of the afternoon is at leisure. You'll have a chance to partake in New York's fabulous holiday shopping, which we all know when you go to New York, you got to do a little bit of shopping at one of the most famous department stores, including Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Saks Fifth Avenue, all dressed up for their holiday best. And of course, the Rockefeller Center, you have the Rockefeller Tree, all that it hosts, as well as restaurants everywhere. And then that evening, we'll get back together. And here we get to venture to Radio City Music Hall and enjoy the incredible Christmas Spectacular featuring the High Kicking Rockettes. And this is a show that's been performing since 1933, absolutely full of holiday cheer. It is so much fun. It's not just about a Broadway show. It is about the spirit of New York, America, as well as the holiday season. And we'll see the iconic wood soldier fall, a staple of the Rockettes, and the impressive is it's a very impressive feat to watch. And we'll have the opportunity here. You can see Mr. Bryce Hill got excited about Radio City Hall and actually had put it on Instagram as they were arriving at the show. And then that'll end our evening there. Day 4, after breakfast, you're going to have a little bit of leisure time just to kind of enjoy walking around. The tour manager has countless suggestions for you. They know these areas inside and out. But we know when people go to New York, you want a little bit of leisure time as well to walk around and see some different things. Perhaps skating at Rockefeller Center. I would highly recommend not skating on any of this, as we don't want anybody to fall and get hurt. But I have enjoyed many, many occasions of people watching, and it's a lot of fun to watch them all skate out here in Rockefeller Center, or visit Central Park if you'd like to. And without a doubt, you have to go get a picture in front of the colossal Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center. Really get to see the elaborate Fifth Avenue holiday window displays, all that there is. Right after Thanksgiving, they do an unbelievable job of getting this all ready for everyone for the holiday season. Following that, regardless of how do you choose to kind of spend your free time, in the evening, you're going to have an opportunity to take your seat at an included Broadway show. So you're going to select from some of the biggest hits. And what we'll do is, once we get a little bit closer, we'll give you, kind of a list to choose from. And then after the show, you'll actually get to say farewell to the extraordinary city. We're going to have dinner at a local restaurant. And just to kind of give you some of the perspective, some of the shows that we've seen in the past: Phantom of the Opera, Jersey Boys, Kinky Boots, Chicago, The Lion King, you name it, we have the ability to look at those. So we'll see what shows are going on, what we have the opportunity to see, and we'll kind of give you choices around 80 days or so prior to departure, and then we'll finalize those at 60. So we'll get those to Carrie and Michelle, and you can kind of ask them what they want to do. If there is a show, and this is a question I get a lot, that, I've seen Kinky Boots, or I've seen Chicago, or whatever the case is, we can help kind of facilitate. If there is a specific show that you want to go see, we can look into that for you too. However, most of the people love the shows that we pick. They're always kind of the most popular ones that we have going on. But we'll have that farewell dinner following that, and we'll have a toast to a magical city here during the holiday season. We'll get you home back in time for all of your wonderful holidays. What a great time to do a little bit of holiday shopping as well while you're here. And then, as always, we'll pick you up, take you to and from the airport, so you don't have to worry about the hassle of dealing with the airport. A lot of people like to go in early, stay a little bit later. We can absolutely arrange that for you. You can stay at the hotel. We'll arrange your flights. Also, the ability to upgrade your flight, business, premium, economy, whatever it is that you're looking for. I talked about, we do have one option in the Greenwich Village walking tour that includes a dinner. So during the afternoon that we have free, you will be able to do that if you'd like to. There's an option. It's about $90, and you have the opportunity to walk around Greenwich Village. We have a locally guided tour with some of the local experiences, and then we have an unbelievable dinner, an Italian family-style dinner at a local restaurant where you can kind of sample an array of some of the tasty appetizers and hearty main courses. There's food everywhere. We always have our no worries travel protection plan. We invented this. A lot of our competitors are coming out with peace of mind travel. We don't have to come out with it because we've had it and we always will. And this allows you to cancel for any reason up until 24 hours before you depart and receive a full cash refund. And so up to 24 hours, you can cancel for whatever reason. We call it our bad hair day policy because that's the most ridiculous reason we can come up with why somebody may not want to go on tour. All you have to do is let us know, and we'll automatically refund you. But you're also covered on tour. So medical assistance, evacuation, lost baggage, whatever it may be, something comes up, you're covered. Even COVID is covered under our medical assistance. I know that that's a question that will come up. And so you are covered from head to toe, no worries, cancellation, as well as the medical side of things. We also have our loyalty program. So if you had loyalty dollars from 2018, we're going to roll those over to 2021. So you'll get $100 off automatically. We'll take it off your final bill. Or if you traveled in 2019, you're going to have an additional $150 off. We rolled those over from 2020. And so if this is your first tour, You'll sign up, you'll go on the tour when you come back. We'll talk a little bit later this afternoon about a tour that's going to go off in January. You know, and you want to go on that one, you'll get $150 automatically taken off. You don't have to do anything. We do it for you. Please make sure you have your domestic travel ID and or real ID. You can still use your passport if you'd like to. Please make sure that your passport is up to date within 8 months of your return, as well as however you fill out your reservation form. Whatever ID you plan on bringing, whether it be your passport or your domestic travel real ID, please make sure you fill out your form as it is on the ID itself. Some people's driver's license are a little bit different than their IDs there, so we want to make sure that we have the same information. Here's the web link that Carrie's going to put into the chat room, which you can click if you want more information about the available options, the cancellation, accommodations, whatever it is that you'd like to know more about. You can click on this link, and we have some more detailed information inside of here. And you can actually sign up there as well. So you can click that sign up now, and it'll take you right into the reservation form. So your deposit is $600. The insurance is $299, making it $899, which is 100% refundable, including the insurance, up until July 13th. After July 13th, the only thing that you're out is the $299 if you decide to cancel. And your final payment will be due on October 14th. One of the things that I want to bring to your attention is with this particular tour, you know, we talk about some really good travel deals. Right now, we have $299 air on this tour, bringing it below $3,000. I will tell you, since I have worked at Collette almost 10 years now, I have not seen this tour below $3,000 in a long time. As we know, staying in Times Square and in New York can get very pricey. This is a really good deal. It's basically a 2-for-1 offer on the air, but we kept it at $299 so that if you're going as a single, you still get this unbelievable rate. So getting New York below $3,000 at the holiday season, land, air, taxes, everything is an amazing deal. So that's why we wanted to put it out there for you. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing now. And if there's any questions in the chat room, or feel free to unmute and ask questions away, I'll be happy to answer anything I can. And I know that probably number one is COVID. So let's go ahead and just talk about that. So right now we have mandates and protocols set in place. We were the first tour operator to travel in actually 2020. We started running tours. We kept about 30 to 35% of the motor coach open, which allowed us plenty of space for social distancing, mask, cleaning protocols, all of those things. We will continue to monitor those by the CDC guidelines, as well as the USTOA, and city and state guidelines as well. We'll always be in compliance with those. You know, I will say that as the vaccines, herd immunity, all of that starts to kick in, you know, we will start to relax those regulations as the government does. And we will always be in line and protocols with those as well. So you have nothing to worry about. As I previously mentioned, the insurance you can cancel for any reason as well. And it is covered on tour. COVID is covered under the insurance policy. So with that being said, any questions that I can answer for you?
All right, nobody has any questions, any thoughts, comments?
No, I have questions. This is Tammy.
Perfect.
The brochure that we got is a little bit different, so let me clarify some things. The brochure says the insurance is $199.
Does that could be a, oh, you're right, it does say $199. Okay, we'll honor that at $199. It should have been $299. You guys get $100 off. Fantastic.
Good question. Even better of a deal.
That is even better.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, I just noticed you're right, 100%. I'm looking at, it's typically $299 for all domestic. So there you go, you get $100 off.
So are you saying also that a single is $29.98?
A single is, there is a single supplement that is $37.48 plus the $199.
Okay.
The air is still $299 though. So the air rate doesn't change. We've locked that in for you. So you're still getting a great deal on the air.
Okay. And then again, on the brochure, it was different, the order. So is it to the brochure or the way you said it?
Typically the brochure, basically we do all of those things and sometimes we move them around. The tour itself will hit everything. Some of the days bounce around a little bit. And so you'll get to see everything. It just may not be in that very specific order. We will try to follow the brochure as much as possible. So that's typically more accurate than some of the days on my presentation.
So on day 3, could you actually sign up to get another Broadway show in the evening if you wanted to?
Yes. So during free time, we can help facilitate. And a lot of times I'm very candid with people at the hotel. If there's specific shows that you want, I usually tell them to deal with the concierge because they know the ins and outs on during any of the leisure time. But our tour manager is very well plugged in too. So if you have a free evening, absolutely, you can go to a show and the tour manager will kind of help set that up for you.
So right now it looks like Tuesday's the Radio City Music Hall. And Wednesday you would have time on your own, and Thursday you would do the Broadway show that you guys provide. Is that correct?
Double checking just to make sure I don't give you any. So yeah, we moved, you're right, on the brochure, we moved the 9/11 to day 4 versus 2. So the Broadway show is on day 4, which is December 16th. And so day 3, you are correct. You would have, well, that one is the one with the option on day 3. So you would either do that option or you'd have a free evening to go do another Broadway show, which would be December 15th.
And would it be best for us to have you help us get the Broadway show or do it on our own?
If it's going to be a free evening, so if you know right now that you want to do something, I tell people to go ahead and do it so that you can get the tickets and you can lock it in. If you definitely know that's what you want to do. If you kind of want to wait and see and get there and decide, that that's really where the tour manager can step in and help you out.
Okay, thanks. I was asking because I have a relative in New York City, so I would want to do the show with them, and I wanted to make sure it was which evening was available.
Yeah, you're spot on. We will, more than likely, my presentation is flipped around a little bit. The itinerary is going to be accurate, so that's the one to follow. Don't pay attention to my presentation, but we see and do everything. Just some of the days got moved around a little bit.
Looks great.
And this really is a great time to go to New York, I think, too, with everything being shut down for so long, to be able to get there this December and see all those performers so excited to be back on stage and performing and doing what they love and being able to experience that, especially at this great rate too. If you're thinking about New York City and want to see some of those shows and being there at Christmas, this is definitely a deal to jump on.
That is spot on. And I'll say that Broadway was hit hard by this. And it is something that these people live and die by these shows. And they have, had to go back and try to fill the time and do things. And I was talking to the tour manager specifically about that. And he was telling me he has a couple of friends that are part of different shows. And he said they cannot wait to get back out there. So if you're going to see a Broadway show, you're probably going to get top tier performances because they've been just dying to do it for somebody. So especially the High Kickin' Rockettes, which we missed last year in 2020, and they're having to wait all the way to the holiday season. So I can tell you this 2021 experience is going to be fantastic.
All right, is there any other questions? All right, so like Kenny said, there are multiple ways to register for this trip. We have the link where you can sign up online, or in the brochure I sent you, it has a registration form. You can print that out and mail it to us, or you can come in and fill one out. We have one in the office, or bring one in. And then if you mail it just to the Meadowbrook Park Clubhouse, the address is on the form, and we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We just ask that if you do mail it in, or when you bring it in, you don't write your credit card number down. We don't need anyone's credit card information on a piece of paper. What will happen is if you mail it to us, we'll call you, and then that's how we can take your payment over the phone. But if you have any questions, we're here to ask and help you any way we can.